Hey guys, welcome back to another Stephan Spectacular Science. To get started this week, some materials we will need are a 2-liter bottle. We're going to need some tape, a ruler, a permanent marker, some scissors, some soil, and some water. So to get started, we can look at our bottle and see where we want our soil to be filled up to, and then we can take our marker and we can mark that spot on our bottle like that. Now we can take our ruler and we can put it on that line, and then what we're going to do is we're going to mark every 5 centimeters, or 5 millimeters, my bad. So we'll do 1, and we can do that all the way up to 5 centimeters. So then, it looks like that. Next we can go ahead and take our scissors, and very carefully, with hands out of the way, we can cut the lid off of our bottle. It doesn't have to be as perfectly straight as you want, but we can now we have 2 pieces. Next we can grab our tape, and we can use the tape to make sure that none of these edges can hurt us, so we'll tape it on top and make kind of a safety rim with the tape. So it will look like that instead of that sharp edge that's on the bottle there. Now we can grab our soil and we'll fill it up to this line that we marked in the beginning there. So you can fill it, make sure it's nice and even. And now it's up to the bottom line. It's kind of hard to see with my hand in the way. Oh, there you can see. Now we will take our water. And what we're going to do is we're very carefully going to pour small amounts of water in until it's just filled up enough in the soil that it's all absorbed. Give it a moment to settle. Once all of the water is absorbed into the soil, that's what's going to make it the saturation point where there's no more absorbing going on from the dirt, so when it rains into our jar, it will level up on the top. So next we can put our lid on the top, like that, and then if we want, we can secure it down with some more tape. So now our rain gauge is ready to go outside. Now we just find a nice place where we can set this, where it'll get nice rain when the rain comes.
So after it rained, you'll notice that there's more water inside your container. So how we can measure this is we will take the ruler and we'll put it on our base mark that we marked where our soil stops, and then we can count our millimeters on our little notches as we go up. So last night we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 millimeters of rain last night. So then if you'd like, you can record that down in a notebook or something so you can keep track of how much rain comes each day. And that's how we use our rain gauge. Here are the tools we need to start our sundial. We need a long, straight stick. Doesn't have to be that long, but we're going to need a pot filled with soil. I have it hardly packed inside. And we're going to need a bunch of rocks. So we can start by taking our pot of soil and placing it in the middle of our table, or our space. Then we can grab our stick and we're gonna push it into the soil and pack it in nice and firmly so that if it gets windy during the day or anything, our stick won't fly out of its spot, and we can keep confidence on where our shadow will lay, because the shadow is going to tell us what time of day it is. We can take our first rock and we can place it down. So according to my clock, it's 10 o'clock right now in the morning. So we'll take our first rock, and I'll remember this gray rock is our 10 o'clock rock. So I'm going to place it right here where the shadow is, and we'll know that we started our clock today at 10 o'clock. So I'll write that down in my notebook, and then we'll leave this rock here, and we'll come back in an hour and see how the shadow looks then. So here we are at 11 o'clock. I don't know if you guys can see on my phone that well, but it's 11 o'clock. And our shadow has moved a little bit over. So I have this rock here that I've marked with a Sharpie marker with the number 11 for 11, and we can place this rock in this spot. And now we'll just have to wait for 12.
While we wait for the next hour to come around, we can take our rocks and we can mark them so that we know which rocks are at which time when we don't have our phone or our watch on us to look at the time. Oh, geez, Louise. So here I have a Sharpie marker, and on the bottom of each of these rocks, I'm going to write a number. So I'll do 1 on this rock. We'll get a 2 over here. Now I'm painting the numbers on the bottom because then we can use chalk on the top so that we can decorate them to our little heart's desire. 6. Just to show you guys, here are the rocks with the chalk on them as well. So I have 1, we have 2 with some little smiley faces on the side, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's kind of tough to see that one on the screen. 7, 8, and then 12. And then when we go back outside at 12 o'clock, I'll mark down the other 2 with chalk.
As you guys can see here, it is 12 o'clock. So we're going to take our 12 o'clock rock, mark on the back, chalk on the top, and we're going to place it here on this line that's moved beside over here. So now we have our 12 o'clock ready rock. 12 o'clock rock ready! Here we are at 1. It has moved from our 12, now we are here at our 1, so we have rock number 1. Spot number 1. We'll be back in an hour. Here we are just after 2. So we can grab our 2 o'clock rock and we can set it over here on our 2 o'clock shadow. Be back for 3. Hey, so here we are at 3. And as you can kind of see, the shade has kind of taken over where our shadow should be on the table. But Over here on the grass, where you guys can't see, there's a little bit of shadow still from my stick because it's taller than the shadow that my roof is casting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this rake that I have in my backyard with the post against the shadow at the end. And now we know that this is where we can place our number 3. So for 3 o'clock, here's our rock, and I've ran out of space, so this is our sundial.
So to make a pastel rocket using hydrogen peroxide and yeast, we're going to need a mason jar. We're going to need a lid with the hole punched in it. We're going to need peroxide. And we're going to need some of these noodles. I grabbed rigatoni noodles. We can start by adding hydrogen peroxide to the jar. Next, we can take our yeast and we can pour it into our jar. Once we do that, we can take our lid and put it on top. We'll place the noodle on top, and as the bubbles start to rise and form, they're going to create gas that we should be able to ignite. Well, sometimes you just can't get science to work. Holy guacamole, guys, I got it to work. We have a torch made of pasta. Here we do. Sorry, I had to turn on the fan. I don't want the fire alarm to go off. Here we have a fire. We have a fire. Ten out of 10 fire. And now we got a nice golden marshmallow.
You gave it all up, you had nothing left. You should have kept some for yourself.